Paranormal Punches is part of the Podbelly Network. Go to podbelly.com for more great podcasts.
Hey, y'all. This is Frank the Bigfoot, and you're listening to the Paranormal Punchers.
Hey, friends. Welcome to another episode of Paranormal Punchers. I'm Mark.
I'm Alicia.
I'm Nash.
No, Dave.
Yeah.
Back to the Hollow Earth.
No, I'll tell you what he's doing. He's going to a party. It's called Bacon Fest.
Oh, my God. I need to leave. I will be right back.
Oh, no, we weren't invited, bro.
Yeah, we weren't invited.
What? You got to be invited to Bacon
Yes,
Fest?
you got to be
Yeah.
invited.
How do you get... How do
Well,
you...
his friend puts it on.
Oh.
It's like a backyard barbecue kind of.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha.
Involving a lot of bacon.
Oh, my
so.
God. That sounds heavenly.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's bacon wrapped everything.
I
and
mean,
just...
if you're a vegan, it doesn't sound heavy.
Right.
Well, you could bring your paste-filled bacon, whatever. Vegan bacon. I don't know what they... Do they make vegan bacon?
They do.
Yeah, they do.
What's it made out of?
Probably mushrooms.
Paste and beans and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they make it out of.
I'm sure there's some vegans listening right now screaming at Nash. I've had some vegan bacon. It's not bad at all.
But oh my God, it sounds terrible. Bacon. Oh, thick cut bacon, perfect. Oh my God, that's all I need.
Well, Dave, I hope you enjoy that. And again, tell Bill, thanks for the invite. We're just playing. On this episode,
You didn't get a doggy bag?
do you think there's going to be leftovers?
You know what? That's a valid point.
Yeah.
Right.
On this episode, we're going to talk about the Tuttle Bottoms Monster, something from the swamplands of Harrisburg, Illinois,
Yep.
which I think really should be called cryptid country because this creature and more kick it in southern Illinois.
Yep.
It's all mountains and hills down there and forest. It's wild. There's got to be a ton of stuff running around down there.
There is, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Lish, hit us with some Tuttle Bottoms.
Okay.
Is it singular?
It's Tuttle Bottoms.
Now, see, that right there makes me think of, is this a creature? Now, I saw the picture of it. I didn't see two rear ends.
Well,
I knew it. I should have put money on it.
I'm not sure why it's called Tuttle Bottoms.
Tuttle Bottoms.
Isn't that
But I
the
think that
area?
the area is called that, and I don't know why it's called that.
Because that's where it was spotted.
Oh, maybe like the
No.
Tuttle family.
I don't know why that area is called Tuttle Bottoms.
Maybe
Like, I
they're-
couldn't find that information.
Oh,
But-
I'm sure some of our friends in Illinois can
I'm
tell
sure.
us.
Yeah. I think maybe the Tuttles that lived in the area all had like a certain distinctive birthmark on their tookies.
Yeah.
Okay, that's your theory?
Yeah. So when they get together at parties and they moon everybody, they're like, "Look at all the Tuttle Bottoms." They know because they all have this certain distinctive birthmark.
That's about as solid as the theories you're going to have later about underground bases, right?
Oh.
All right. So the Tuttle Bottoms Monster inhabits a swampy area north of Harrisburg, Illinois, in the Saline River watershed, and has been haunting this area for generations. This monster is not your typical aquatic creature with reptilian features that you would assume for a swamp, but rather is more closely aligned with a mammal. So as far as descriptions go, there wasn't a whole lot, but basically it's a gigantic ape-like hairy creature
Like me.
that is at least 8 feet long.
Okay, not like me.
Yeah, it sometimes is described as having 2 legs, but sometimes it has 4.
And shaggy hair.
Well,
Yep,
it walks on 2 legs, but sometimes goes on all 4.
Yeah, so you could see it either walking upright or on all 4s.
Yeah.
It has glowing eyes and a long snout similar to an anteater.
So it's the snuffleupagus.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on the snout. If and I don't know if the whole snout opens like a gar fish. You know what I mean?
Right.
If the whole like an alligator opens, or if it's just like a little tongue that sticks out,
Like an anteater.
like an anteater. I don't know if it
Yeah.
was a mouth that it could eat something, or if it just gets it with its
Yeah.
tongue.
Now, what's interesting about it is that it doesn't seem to be concerned if it's spotted. So it just keeps doing its thing instead of like
Just
running
keep
away.
Swimming.
Yeah. There are no attacks of it attacking either.
They're what?
There are no attacks of it attacking.
There are no reports of it attacking either. Did I say attacks? I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Wow.
It's okay.
It's okay.
We love you. That's
Over
why we pointed out.
That's why we were just like, huh? What?
Shoot. All right. Over the span of 28 years, the police have approximately received 50 reports of this beast. Now, those 50 reports, couldn't really find
I couldn't
them.
find any
Yeah.
of them. I couldn't find any of them. Now, one of the things that it wasn't in the description, but the images that I saw, they all had like giant claws.
Oh,
Yeah, they were all massive, like almost like a sloth. Almost, they had super giant claws. But in the description, it just made it to be like a really big ass creature that just was like, "Hey man, how you doing? Oh, I'm good over here. You do you. You know,
Tuttle ass creature.
right.
the Tuttle ass creature."
Now, the first report on August 6th, 1963, the Saline County Sheriff, James Thompson, he spent the night starting around 11 p.m. and ending around 4:30 in the morning, running into use with guns, searching for this beast.
What?
The two Utes.
Wait. Let's back up. He ran into youths searching for the thing, or stayed the night with the youths searching for the things?
No, he kept running into these young
Kids.
boys, these kids
Who
that
were
were
out-
searching for
I
it with
got you.
guns and knives and things like that.
Nunchucks.
They might have. Who knows?
Is that what you take out against?
Yeah,
the,
why not? I would take a nunchuck, like a spear, because you could walk
So
with.
you're going over your armory. There's a gun.
No.
Nunchucks.
Sword, nunchucks.
Nunchucks.
That's what I'm going to fight
Okay.
it with.
Maybe that, a few throwing stars. Yeah, definitely like the
Headline: Man dead after trying to fight a creature with nunchucks.
Oh boy!
For some reason, all he found is he kept hitting himself in the balls with these nunchucks, and that's why he's dead.
All right, so he ran across the first youth armed with a rifle, where he told the sheriff that there was a monster loose in the bottoms. This, I know,
That's what I tell my wife.
yeah, the Tuttle Bottoms.
She's like, honey, and I'm like, there was a monster loose in the bottoms.
Oh,
Call me
God.
Tuttle.
The description the young man gave was that it was 8 feet long, 4 feet high, and had a nose like an anteater. The boy put his rifle in the car and left. But then the sheriff ran into like a dozen other boys, all armed with shotguns and other weapons, all looking for this monster. He eventually sent them all home, but
You think they went home?
I don't know.
I don't think so. I mean, if you
I
look at
doubt
the
it.
area, it's all like hills and deep forest. I think they were like, okay, officer, bye. We'll go right home.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go four-wheeling.
Yeah. Now, hunters and people who park along the road in that area would make frantic calls to the police reporting a large furry animal that looked like a large anteater. Some said it resembled a large bear, but all that would be found were strange tracks. What did those tracks look like? I don't know, because I couldn't find that. In the 60s and 70s, high school kids would actually go to the Tuttle Bottoms to drink beer and make out.
Yeah, I was going to say, didn't they like frequent like the makeout spots?
Yeah. So what does that make you think about for the monster
He's horny.
itself? Yeah.
He wants a beer.
Yeah.
He's into it.
Or like Jason, doesn't like kids
Right.
making out.
Oh, yeah.
Doing
That's
stuff.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
He's very old school. You don't do that until you're married, so he would go there to stop them.
With a machete.
The machete. So if the Tuttle ass monster wanted a beer, you couldn't get a beer out of a beer can. He couldn't drink the beer
No.
because he had to stick his tongue in the can. Ugh.
Is that what's perplexing you?
Ugh. Yeah, it'd be really hard. You had to like pour it on the ground and then like lick it up. That's why I was wondering about the mouth structure. Because if he's into the beer and making out, well, if he's making out, I got to tell you, he's going to be all invasive, and that's no good. But if he's drinking beer, you can't get the can, the hole in the can's teeny tiny.
Sometimes I wonder if we should drink beer. Why we record a podcast after stuff like that?
You have to take the whole top off the can, and then you could lap it up. Lapping up beer would be a challenge.
Well, he has those big claws. He could just be shotgunning. He'll pop in a big hole in the bottom.
Oh, maybe he doesn't take a time. Maybe he shotgunned. He puts the hole in it, and then just sticks his mouth up to it and just sucks it all out because he has a little teeny tiny hole in the end of his mouth.
Yeah.
You want theories? We got theories.
We got them.
One officer claimed that he had come across a group of teenagers who were very scared of something that had emerged out of the woods. They claimed it. I know. They claimed it was
something
pretty much
emerged at Makeout Point.
They claimed it was 8 feet tall, had a long nose, and apparently just kind of loitered around the area, freaking everyone out before it moseyed back into the woods.
Okay.
Okay, I guess.
Yeah, that would freak people out.
Yeah.
In another report, a man was driving down a dark, narrow road and says that he had seen it cross the road in front of him. It was staring at him and had glowing eyes.
Well, most cryptids do have glowing eyes. Let's just put that down.
Yeah, when your headlights are shining right on them.
Like cat eyes. They're reflective.
Right.
Okay.
Now, I also came across this one. It's from the Harrisburg Daily Register. And it's a little... I tried to tone it down a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's all over the place, and that's because this is how that person wrote it.
Okay.
So I just wanted
You did not write this.
I did not write this.
You're just reading
now,
it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, this person wants to remain anonymous, and 2 of their friends have had many encounters with the monster on or near the bridge that is near the area. When they encountered it, it seemed to get annoyed, but also interested in them. They flashed their headlights at it and honked the horn, and I think they even yelled at it.
I wonder why I was getting annoyed.
Yeah. So it could be interesting, but he's like, God, quit being a jerk.
They all agreed that it looked like a cat, but was way over 6 feet tall and had ears pointing upwards and long fingers that reminded them in a way of a wolf man, but not a wolf man.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
So,
was there any report were they drinking?
Well, that's what I was kind of understanding. Well, just let me get through this.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, because there's a whole bunch of questions for that particular unpacking.
They've also seen its glowing eyes, but they are not orange like a reflection from a car. They were white with a blue tint to them. Yeah. They saw it down by the creek, and it was both on 2 feet and 4, and it could run on either. One of the times they saw it, it came from behind them out of the woods, and when it was near the middle of the road, it stood on its hind legs before running towards the woods and making a huge leap into it. After they were tracking it and lost it, it has followed them. They were driving.
What?
I know. I think they were tracking it, and then they couldn't find it.
They were hunting their prey, and then the prey became the hunter.
Right. So they were driving slow down the road and stopped to try to spot it, when they all of a sudden heard a noise to their side and saw the blue eyes not far in the woods. They think it isn't your normal animal and that it seems intelligent.
No shit, Sherlock.
They also think it can climb because they have heard. I'm sorry. Because they have heard something in the trees that is too big to be a bird, and the blue eyes could be seen.
It's the predator.
Yeah. Well, if it's what, 8 feet tall, 4 feet wide, it's got to be 300-400 pounds.
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
So it's not getting very high in the tree.
It needs to be a sturdy tree.
Yeah, it's got to be a big old tree. It can't be a regular old pine tree. It can only get up a couple feet.
Now, they think that it seemed drawn to them, seeing as how they have other friends that were in the vicinity around the same time, but they never saw anything.
They must have had beer in the car.
Yeah, I know.
That's why it was drawn to them.
The name they used to tell people about it is Tuttle Bottoms Pussy.
Since
they think it resembles a cat.
Oh, parental advisory.
I know. Sorry.
Close your ears that you're about to hear.
Then they end with, "We're more than willing to talk with you about it if you would like. We are not crazy. don't do drugs or drink that we could have been imagining things. And unlike most people, we have had many eyewitness accounts on this creature and have been near 20 feet away from it, and it seems to come in interest or anger when you bother it enough. Okay, so I'm done with that. But
Woo!
I know.
All right.
Okay, so they found this creature. It's big. They were chasing it. Then it was chasing them.
Mm-hmm.
Then it was in a tree.
Yeah.
And pissed it off. But when it gets pissed off at them, then it becomes interested in them,
Yeah.
but not really angry towards
I
them.
know.
But they were not drinking or smoking the weeds.
Nope.
Yeah, or doing anything like that.
But it's the
Yeah.
Tuttle Bottoms pussy and not monster.
Right. So
Now,
I don't know.
if it was an 8-foot cat. I would be terrified.
Mm-hmm.
That
Be knocking your car over.
Yeah, an 8-foot cat. I mean, think of it if it was a tiger. If you don't count the tail, I don't know if they count the tail. I'm guessing that they do in a tiger size, but that is, I think, like the largest cat on the planet, and will tear your head off as well as easily as eating some kibble.
It's
Yeah.
4 foot wide too.
That's
It's just like
that's massive.
it's like a power lifter.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, 4 foot wide and 8 feet long, and if it was a cat, you got to get out of the way because, well, it doesn't matter. Even if you're in your car, it's going to chase you down and through your car around.
I mean, it sounds like a cat. It's kind of interested in you, but it's angry at you too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you.
I'm sure if you have like some objects on a table, it will come over and knock it off.
No, just knock the whole table over.
Did anybody try to play with it with a string?
Right.
Did anybody get like their shoelaces off and try to
Or get some catnip or
get
something.
some catnip?
Yeah.
Well, not catnip because then it gets all whacked out on it and start
True.
freaking out with his eyes all round.
True.
But if that was an 8-foot cat, oh my God, 4 feet wide, like a swipe would kill you.
Yeah.
Would absolutely destroy you. But
Right.
you know what? I like the idea of it being a cat because then it is kind of interested in you when it wants to be, and then the rest of the time is like, don't touch me. I'm annoyed with you.
Right.
That makes sense.
There you go. Solved.
Done.
Yeah.
Put a cork in it. It's done.
Now, there are some other crazy cryptid sightings in the Tuttle Bottoms as well. And I know
there's a lot of things in the Tuttle
You
Bottoms.
found some stuff.
Yeah, I mean, besides the Tuttle Bottoms Monster, I mean, and we talked about this maybe on a Patreon, but the Big Muddy Monster is kicking in that area. Apparently, there's also sightings of big black cats,
Yeah.
giant snakes, and this one I never heard of, but we might need to look it up, and little red men.
Ooh.
Little red men.
Yeah,
I wonder how little and how red.
doesn't say.
Huh. I kind of like that one.
I might put that on our list.
I mean, I can imagine being where this is, giant, massive snakes out in the forest out there. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can imagine that. I mean, what anacondas get 20 feet long or some ridiculous thing.
And apparently, Illinois also ranks second out of all 50 states for the most Bigfoot sightings.
Wow.
So this is a hot spot.
Well, I think it's a hot spot because of the amount of government facilities that are around there and potential UFO sightings.
Before you go into that,
Yeah.
I will lead you
Uh-oh.
there.
Uh-oh.
So there's this dude. His name's Virgil Smith, founder of the animal research organization called Shadows of the Shawnee. And he's been doing an investigation on this creature and others. And
Wasn't the Shawnee Indians, weren't those in my wife's favorite movie? Oh, geez, with Adrian Brody when he's an Indian guy and around the turn of the century. Oh, geez, I can't even think of it. Well, I
you're
guess
not
I
thinking
should.
of The Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah, Last of the Mohicans. There you go.
And that was not Adrian Brody.
Or it was the guy with the from My Left Foot.
Yeah, and he played President Lincoln.
No, he didn't play President Lincoln.
Yeah, he did.
No. He was
And he became a cobbler.
Yeah.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Very method.
Yeah.
But back to what I was saying.
But he was in the show. He was with the Shawnee. That was one of the tribes that he was running with.
Maybe.
And Last of the Mohicans.
Okay. Back to what I was saying.
So it should be right in that same area.
Okay. Now Virgil, he thinks, and I have another report for later. But right now, at the time when this statement was made, he believes that it was something that the government had dumped in the swamps. And he says that a former employee of the U.S. Department of Agriculture confided in him and let him know that this was something the government let out.
I can totally agree with that. I mean, the research that I did, it's surrounded. It's not exactly. There's not a military base right within a mile or two of this national park, this forest.
Now he believes the animals were released.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was government experiments. I don't know. It doesn't say, but he thinks they probably likely are long since dead.
Yeah. So, well, maybe, just maybe, because that forest is kind of in the middle of about 3 or 4 different military bases. There's Scott Air Force Base. That's about 80 miles away. And then when you go into Indiana and I think it's Kentucky, there's about equidistant away. There are other military bases, but the one that I found that I really, really kind of liked was the Chanute Air Force Base. I don't know, but it was decommissioned. Now it's south of south and adjacent to Rantoul, Illinois. It's about 130 miles south of Chicago, so which is just north of this area. So this decommissioned Air Force Base. So. Okay, here we go. Right on. Okay. So in my research, I'm like, okay, so I
strap in.
Yeah, here we go. So I have all these military bases that are kind of close, but they're not too close. You have a giant mountainous area with not a lot of population, heavy, dense trees and whatnot, and excuse me. And just on the other side of it is there's a mine called a Brazier Mine. That is temporarily closed. So it's been closed for a little while. So what I believe was happening temporarily is that and when you try to figure out why it's closed, it's kind of hard to find out why.
Okay.
Everybody knows that I'm a big fan of the whole alien UFO, with working with the U.S. government. I don't think this was that. What I think it was these other military bases were working together to create their own hybrid, to do their own government experimentations on animals. That's why it looks like a bear, it looks like an anteater, it's giant size, and they're just like, we're just not good at this. Dump them in the forest. Okay, that's my theory. Okay. Yeah. So that there's all kinds of different creatures.
So you think the government is trying to create something, but they keep screwing up
because they don't have the technology.
And now it's an 8 foot by 4 foot hairy beast, and they're just like, just dump it in the swamps of Illinois.
Yeah, because we can't deal with it. We don't want to keep it here. And it's not
costs too much to feed.
Yeah, and we don't know what to do with it. So just let it go. Whatever, it'll figure itself out.
You think our government would just dump this creature?
Oh, yeah.
In the swamps of Illinois, huh?
Oh, yeah. 100%. Along with the little red men, and what were the other ones that were there?
The big muddy monster.
The muddy monster. So those are all not necessarily alien government hybrids where they're jointly working together. The government that was there didn't have the technology from the aliens, but they had some of the basic knowledge of what they were doing. So they're like, you know what? We're going to try to do this on our own. Didn't do very well, and they've tried a couple different things, and they don't know what to do with these creatures, so they dump them.
If I learned anything from horror movies, when you try to combine a couple of things in your Frankenstein laboratory, it doesn't go well.
Because you have the tall cylinders with half-formed, deformed creatures in there. Well, they got to clean house once in a while when they got to do something else, so they got to get rid of them all. That's why these animals are in there. And of course, it's underground. I mean, it's underneath one of these Air Force bases, of course, and that's why I think that the Brazier Mine is closed is because they were getting close to one of the underground facilities where these things were either stored or grown, and they were like, "Hold on." There was something about the permit. They had their permits were being held up. Well, see, if you submit for a permit and it gets held up, you're submitting to the local planning and zoning board, whatever. So that goes directly to they're like, we're going to submit for this permit, and they can't get in there because the military is just like, you can't do that. I'm sorry, no, there's secret stuff. You're knocking on the door, so we can't get them in there. But I think that those mountains are riddled with who knows what that was created by the U.S. government. And now just imagine if somehow they're getting together, like this guy, the Tuttle Bottoms Monster, he's into drinking and partying. What if one of these other creatures was also into drinking and partying, and then you have a crossbreeding situation?
Oh, my gosh.
I think there's all kinds of shenanigans happening in those mountains that we just need to...
What if all cryptids are into partying?
Yeah. Big, just imagine Big Muddy is with the Tuttle Ass, and the Tuttle Ass is just like, hey, I'm into something. It's in my name.
And Bigfoot from the California up in all that the weed growing areas.
Yeah.
He's definitely a supplier.
He's a supplier, and they're all just chilling in the mountains, having a good time. Waiting for the kids to bring them beer. They party. Whatever happens,
Scare a few kids so they could steal the beer that they leave behind.
Exactly. And then just hang out, do their thing. So, and then the government that's around there, they're like, you know what? We're just not good with this whole gene splicing thing. We're not good at it. We don't have it. Let's just leave this up to the aliens. They're good at it. They have, the Shag Harbor. They're good with all these other scenarios like Celine Dion and everybody else, Pamela Anderson, whatever. They're like, we've done really, really good work with alien-human hybrids. Let's just leave it up to them. They're the experts on it. Let's just stop doing it. And that's probably why they closed down and decommissioned that Air Force base. Okay.
Your theories are solid.
I think it is. I think it is.
I like the idea of all the cryptids just partying at night.
Right.
But it'd be interesting if they all got together and decided to storm the underground base that bred them and then do their own experiments.
Well, yeah, that would be interesting. I would imagine it would be hard for these large monsters. This is possibly where the little red guys come in. So the large guys, like the Muddy Monster and this guy, the Tuttle Bottoms, they're huge, okay?
They're the tanks.
They're the tanks. But it would be really hard for them to work the really fine mechanical things. So I imagine that's where they would just direct maybe they're the brains, and the little red guys are the minions that they're telling what to do.
Possibly, absolutely no facts
No.
have been stated in the past 10 minutes, but it's fine. That'd make a great cartoon.
Yeah, I think it would. It would. Or, maybe something for the Paranormal Punchers to be dropped into. Episode 3.
Now, when you say dropped into, I also parachuted.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So we leveled up to the point our cartoon characters are parachuting in to southern Illinois.
They've been called in because they're raising some havoc in the area.
I like how you say issue 3. I haven't finished issue 2 yet.
Well, you got to plan ahead.
Talk about slacking.
But we go in through the Brazier mine, and we get into the underground facility through there, and then realize that all of these creatures have been coming from this facility. I'm telling you.
And we make an army with all the cryptids.
That's right. That's where we get in there because we have Dave. You're super genius.
No, Dave wouldn't be in the book because he had a Bacon Fest party to go to. So he wouldn't make that issue.
Be there.
Yeah, he wouldn't be there.
He'd be like, "Sorry guys, I can't help out. I'm at Bacon Fest. Sorry."
Yeah. My goodness.
So that's what I'm thinking. Is that these are just not alien military hybrids, but these are just military hybrids that they were like, you know what, we're not good at this. Just let them go. They're alive. They'll be fine. They'll freak out people. There'll be stories for generations.
All right.
Okay.
Liz, you look like you would like to
Well,
say
maybe
something.
I'll bring us back.
We are back. That's the way it is.
And that's the way it is.
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Others believe that it could also be a surviving relative of like a prehistoric anteater species.
It does look a lot like an anteater.
Yeah. Anteaters, they live in wetlands, grasslands, and tropical forests, stuff like that. But they're only found in Central and South America. So
I figured that they would be found where there's ants.
Okay.
Well, they're anteaters.
Okay.
That's right. I would imagine that,
All right. Well, there's ants everywhere.
That's why I'm saying that
Okay.
they're found there, but I mean, I can see them surviving just about anywhere because there's ants everywhere.
True.
Yeah.
Okay. It also could be an undiscovered species. So not something we don't know what it is. But my personal favorite, and I think I came up with this, It could be a Bigfoot with a malformed nose.
Okay.
Aw.
I know. But
Maybe he
you
got
know.
hit by a car or something. I don't
Or
know.
he was born this way. I don't know.
Yeah. You're going to go with genetic defects.
I am.
I'm going with an accident.
Sorry.
Or maybe when it could be a Bigfoot. And when the UFOs came over and they're like, oh, there's a lot of like UFO garbage down there, go pick it up. And they didn't actually go all the way to the ground. They just kind of pushed him out the bay door. And then he fell, hit his head on the way down. He hit the ugly tree a few branches on the way down. And that's why he has this funky snout now.
Well, I have something else.
Go for it.
This is from thesouthern.com, June 14th, 2022.
Oh.
This is Virgil Smith again. Now, remember I had said Virgil Smith had said that he had a confidant in the
like
federal
4
government and
4
said
days
it
ago.
was released. Right. This is very fresh.
Fresh.
Which was just surprising. But so he, he's been investigating this for about 8 to 10 years, he says. But in his research, he discovered that a zoo in Mount Vernon had been forced to shut down around the time of the sightings of the Tuttle Bottoms Monster.
Maybe they had the anteater.
The guy who owned the zoo did not maintain his animals, Smith said. And there was an investigation, and they gave him 48 hours to find new homes for his animals, or they would come and take them. So his family and friends said that he took them down and scattered them throughout the southern Illinois area.
Oh.
One of the animals he released was a giant anteater from Africa.
Oh.
And the description of that anteater lines up quite well with some of the descriptions of the Tuttle Bottoms Monster.
I wonder if when did they say they closed it down and he did this release?
The article does not have a date.
But he said he researched it for about 5 to 8 years. I
Yeah.
wonder if he researched the subject and then just found out about this.
From a couple things that came across, it looks like Virgil Smith has definitely been researching hardcore. And things I'm assuming, just found more evidence that could say, like, could it just have been this?
Right.
I don't know. I'm not speaking for Virgil. This is the article. But interesting. And to end it, he says that, he released a few of these creatures, and some of the descriptions, like a hairy primate, an orangutan. Could some of that explain what people were claiming to see, or
Right.
In the trees, maybe.
that maybe that's where we get legends like the Big Muddy Monster or things? Could it have been simply just the animals he released?
I don't think
Because
so.
you would be scared,
I don't think that holds much water.
and they would be interested in you. Well, because
They'd
hey, I know humans, like, they usually
They would be desensitized
They feed
to
me.
humans. Yeah.
so
Right.
and then irritated, like, but he's not feeding me. I don't know what's happening right now.
But then if he closed the zoo, but there would also be like serious predators that would be left out there too.
True.
Oh, it doesn't. Well, said they saw a big cat. I don't know, but anyway, I came across that. It's in a recent article, thesouthern.com.
So what you're
Check it out if you want to read more about Virgil.
So what you're saying is this I was going to say Jim. This zoo closed down. Wow. Zoo closed down. This guy had all these creatures. He let them out, and then somehow all of these creatures got together and mated with the Muddy Monster or the Sasquatch to create these other hybrids. That's what you're saying?
That's not at all what I was saying.
That's what I
but
think. That's what I'm thinking that you were saying. Yeah. That's where you get all these spin-offs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, I like what you're thinking.
Yeah.
Okay. Spin-offs.
Yeah. You know, hybrids.
It's like a sitcom.
That's right. Welcome to the Big Muddy Monster House.
Bigfoot, we jumped the shark. Let's have a spin-off of the Big Muddy Monster. Maybe that'd be funnier. People like it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I could see the animals getting out there, but I don't know. I don't know how far back. I wonder if the dates match up, because the dates of the sightings of the 50 some odd reports, those were in like the 60s.
Well, so the first one was 63, and then I guess for 28 years after that, he got like 50 different reports.
So that's into the 80s. When did this guy said he was doing research for 5 to 8 years or something like that, right?
8 to 10.
8 to 10 years. So I wonder if those dates don't. I wondered when the zoo closed down.
That the article did not specify, or I stopped reading and never got to that point.
Right.
The rest of it is like, this is all rubbish beyond this.
Yeah, like, oh, this is interesting to me, and then it ran out the door.
I'm just thinking that the dates might not match up.
Hey,
That's what I'm thinking.
I just came across this. Whether you want to bat it down because you don't like it, that's fine.
Because I'm thinking that the zoo might have closed about 10, 15 years after the last one of the reports, way after the first of the reports.
Right.
I don't know.
Now, you said there how many reports there were, but I did come across something that is interesting. So the former Harrisburg police chief, Gary Crabtree, in 1999, shortly before his retirement, said that he alone received over 50 reports of some mysterious creatures lurking northwest of Harrisburg in his 28 years of the force.
Okay. So,
with many, with hundreds of sightings reported to others on the team. So, but
he personally,
alone,
okay,
took 50 reports of mysterious creatures lurking in that area.
Wow, so there's a lot of reports.
There's a lot of reports. Yet, it's interesting. It was hard for you to find any.
I know.
Like really good reports on what actually went down, except just those few. But did they bury them? Did they, did they like think, okay, were you guys drinking? Okay, we're just going to file that over here, and none of this came to light, or is it because a lot of it happened in the 60s, 70s, and there wasn't the internet to easily track and report on?
No internet and a lot of marijuana.
Yeah.
That's the problem with a lot of things these days.
Yeah.
I don't know. Hell's no water. I was just saying, whatever. It'd be a good explanation for a lot. That's a good explanation for a lot of things. Pre-internet and a lot of weed.
I don't think weed has ever caused an issue.
Yeah. Especially not pre-internet.
Right.
Okay.
No, it wasn't a joke. I'm just saying, like,
I was just thinking that if
green is a good thing.
If animals were out walking around, I just think that if you were out in the forest and you should happen to see a bear, it's a bear. If you're out and I'm thinking of like seeing an animal from the zoo out in the wild. Mm-hmm. If you should see a lynx, you know what one looks like. Or a bobcat. You basically know what a bobcat looks like. You would be able to identify pretty much anything that's in a zoo. You'd be able to identify out in the wild. I'm assuming.
Yeah, but if you're out in the wild, what if it's dark? What if it's thick? The brush is thick. You could right away. I mean, if you saw a large creature, like, oh my God, is that Bigfoot?
Yeah.
So yeah, I think your brain could do funny things to you because you're going to start.
Yeah,
you're going to start the adrenaline dump you're going to have when you see a large creature. Number one,
right.
That's true.
And then you're not getting a great look at it because you already turned and are running like hell to get out of there. Mm-hmm. But bears walk on their hind feet sometimes.
Right.
Yeah.
Imagine you're out in the woods. It's kind of thick brush. And then here comes a bear trucking along on 2 feet. Right away might appear to be Bigfoot for that split second before you start running.
But the trick with the bears, when they're on their 2 feet, the easiest way to repel a bear is give them a picnic basket. Then they go away. Because that's all that they want. Hey, boo-boo.
Mm-hmm.
You carry picnic baskets out in the thick forest?
Right.
Well, if you're walking in the forest and you have food, you just it got to be in something, a cooler. Well, the modern day picnic basket is a cooler, so you just give him the cooler and say, "Here you go, buddy," and he's like, "Thank you, hoo-hoo, hey," and then off he goes.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm.
Now, would that be terrifying if the bear did talk back to you? Thanks.
It depends on what I think.
That opens up a whole nother.
I think it would be terrifying based on what's in your cooler. Because if it was just sandwiches, your cooler. I think if it was a Yeti cooler and I had some good stuff in there, it would be terrifying. I would not want him to give him my cooler. That thing's expensive.
You would negotiate with a bear on 2 feet.
But if it was one of those styrofoam ones you get from like Circle K or something like that you get for like $1, I'd be like, this is nothing. Whatever. You can take the cooler, sure. And then out you go.
Well, I mean, you can just dump it out on the ground and take your Yeti with you.
Yeah, they're a little bit more insistent because if you don't give them the cooler right there, there's another half-size bear that's going to come at you trying to get the same thing. So I'm just saying they roam in packs.
How'd we get here? How's this happening?
I don't know.
All right, not the big muddy monster, the Tuttle Bottoms Monster.
Yeah.
It could still be big. I mean, it's got Tuttle Bottoms.
Big bottoms?
Yeah. It's got a badonk. It's a total badonk monster.
Well, I think we've explored that as much as we possibly can, at least to the way Paranormal Punches does it. Half wrong, half right.
Yeah.
You pick.
Yeah, you pick. We might have got some details wrong, so don't get mad. So hopefully we made you smile. And, of course, we put all the sources in the show notes so you can go look up and see like what they had that's completely wrong.
Right.
And if you're in Illinois and you have more detail on this, let us know. Because what we found, we all kind of found roughly the same information over and over again.
Yeah.
So if you have any information, because you're from the local southern Illinois, let us know. That'd be interesting.
Or you're from that area. I mean, we've already talked about
Southern Illinois.
Tuttle Bottoms as we can.
Yeah.
But if there's other creatures that we should check out,
Little Red
learn
Man?
about, I would love to know. Yeah, the Little Red Man. We could easily look that up with the internet. But no, you should tell us what it is.
Right.
All right. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. And we're back. All right. Southern Illinois.
There's
Rocking all kinds of creepy cryptids down there, eh?
now
Trademark. That's one of our Patreon podcasts.
I don't think it's as bad as like West Virginia. West Virginia has
They have a lot too.
a lot of craziness all over the board, but I got to tell you, I don't know if I'd want to be caught in the hills in southern Illinois, in the forest there.
The
Yeah.
hills have eyes.
Yeah, without like a machete and some mace,
Right.
or some bear spray. I don't know.
That's okay. So that's what you're machete and mace. That's what you're going to be armed with.
Yeah, I never trust guns
Bear
very
mace.
much.
Yeah.
Okay. No, I like it.
And nunchucks, of course.
And nunchucks. Okay.
Yeah. Nunchucks and some throwing stars.
It makes me want to get some throwing stars and like we could just sit around after we're done podcasting and practice throwing them.
You should have let
just
me
like
know.
when we were like teenagers.
I've got them at
Oh
home.
my goodness.
Nice.
I got Evan a pack of throwing stars for his birthday.
Oh, Lish,
Yes.
you had a quote from somebody about
did.
just more of the weird sightings down there.
Yeah. And this is a quote from that person. I remember one hot summer night in the late 1960s when our sitter took me and my brother for a...
Whoa, wait. Is that the right quote? I think this is the wrong podcast.
Yeah,
Sitter.
I think you've got to
Babysitter.
start from the very.
Oh, it sounded like a deer penthouse.
Yeah. Yeah. You start with that, and then you got to put a slight southern drawl in the whole
Okay.
thing. It was a hot summer night.
Okay.
My babysitter.
And my babysitter and I were
yeah.
sitting out on the porch.
When our sitter took me and my brother for a ride through Tuttle Bottoms. As we crossed the bridge over the middle fork of the Saline River, a large creature that resembled a prehistoric pterodactyl swooped down at the roof of the car, circled around, and followed us for a short distance. Our sitter floored the gas pebble.
Oh, that
What?
gas pebbles.
That gas pebble.
They're probably worth $5 too.
Pedal in her old car, and we flew down that dark gravel road as fast as it could go. And I didn't include this, but they also said that it took them a very long time to be able to even go back to that area because they were freaked out.
So it was a guy and his brother and the babysitter
Yeah. The babysitter was driving.
going down a dark dirt road
Yeah.
just at night sometime.
In the bottoms.
Yeah. in the bottom.
I bet that's exactly where they were going.
It was a hot summer night.
On a hot summer
Yeah.
night. So the way I'm putting this story together
Do you really have to?
is that the pterodactyl was like he was like the good guy in the story.
What? Oh.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, he was the good guy. He
Save the kids?
I think he saved the babysitter. Oh, yeah. Not saying anything did happen or that was the intention, but I'm thinking this is a recipe for imagine how many horror stories happen with not this exact scenario, but there's a group of family in the car. Now, all they really needed at that point was to have like a shed off in the distance filled with like machetes and yard tools and chainsaws, and they're like, oh no, we need shelter, let's run to the shed, kind of a thing. Let's leave the moving car and go to the shed. It just sounds like a horror story ready to happen, and the pterodactyl stopped it from happening.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the way I read that.
Okay.
I didn't go the way you wanted me to go with it, Mark.
I didn't want you to do anything with it. Don't try to lay blame on me.
So, but if there's pterodactyls floating around over there, that just confirms my whole theory. Mm-hmm. That's it. They're splicing stuff together. They're releasing them out in the woods there. And I wonder how...
Man, I just feel like this area is worthy of a trip.
I know.
It's like Land of the Lost.
Got to make sure there's some cool breweries.
Yeah. This is almost like Land of the Lost kind of stuff. There's all kinds of craziness happening in there. I wonder if there's like cavemen or something else wandering around.
Did you say cavemen?
Yeah. There's caves. There's there's all kinds of hollow cave areas
Did you
in
just
there.
burp in the microphone?
I was off to the side.
We still heard it. So.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well,
Well, that's what mics do. They pick up the sounds coming out of your mouth.
It just came up all of a sudden. Sorry. So I like the idea of the pterodactyl there. I think it confirms that there's some craziness going out there. Mm-hmm.
I agree.
Yeah.
Speaking of craziness, we got a paranormal experience from a listener, Justin H. And he said, just found your podcast on Spotify and love it. I just finished up the one on the Phoenix Lights. You got a long ways to go with Justin.
Oh, yeah.
So I figured I'd tell you all about my experience of seeing a UFO.
Ooh.
I live right outside of Ephrata, PA, about 30-ish minutes away from y'all. I was with my two friends and my friend's mother and her sister driving through Mannheim.
Aliens everywhere in Mannheim.
Shh. It was pitch black outside, driving between two fields, when literally 30 feet from us, about 15 foot off the ground, a round object about the size of a water tower just lit up with lights going all the way around the sides of it. We slowed down and just stared at the thing. Then all of a sudden, the lights just went off, and it wasn't there anymore. Well, that's my story. Hope you all enjoyed it. Don't worry. You guys will see one soon enough.
Nice. I like that at the end. That's nice.
Justin, I hope, number one, thanks for listening to the show. Thanks for
Absolutely.
sending your experience in. But as I replied to Justin, I hope I see one soon.
I know.
Like, I feel like I stare up the sky, but nothing ever is there.
'Cause it
When's going to be my time?
Wow.
When, Lord? When's going to be my time?
gonna be my
I want to
time?
see a UFO.
Maybe you have, and you just don't know.
Whoa. Okay.
Because they're here around us all the time, every day. That's right.
Or
fully integrated.
I did, and they erased that memory.
Oh, nice. Like schisms from Star Trek.
Sure. Or Men in Black doing a flashy flash.
Well, okay. Well, I guess we're going to do that route. I mean,
Yeah, it makes me wonder, like, have we had encounters? And maybe do we have these lingering things like in this dream, or I saw this, or I feel like I saw
what was the
Shadow Man, but maybe it's like aliens are like, okay, we need to.
What was the Doctor Who version of that? The big tall guy with the suit? Is in Doctor Who a bunch of recurring bad guy where you see them and they completely erase your memory? Just for like
the silence.
Is that what it is? Is the silence, and they're super tall.
And he had to start doing like hash marks to how many times he saw them or something.
Yeah.
Because he was trying to force himself to remember. Yeah, the silence.
Right. Okay. Yeah, those guys.
Right. They were definitely aliens.
But they were everywhere. Like in everywhere.
Right. They could be over in the corner right now.
Yeah. Well, not right now.
How do you know?
Because I would smell them. I would have hash marks. I ain't got no hash marks.
Okay.
You ain't got no hash marks.
That's right. Ain't got no hash browns.
Sounds like a song.
Yeah, like a blues song. We can sit on the porch.
No hash browns.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, that's the only line I got.
Okay.
Well, I like this subject a lot. I think
You
that,
get the UFO story, or are you going back to the?
Well, I like them
Tuttle
both.
Bottoms.
I like the idea of seeing UFOs.
Well, let me
also.
wrap this segment up.
Oh, sorry.
Thanks, Justin. Hey, if you want to send us,
that's it.
no. If you want to send us your paranormal story, hit us up. Just go to paranormalpunchers.com. You'll find all the ways to contact us. We love to hear from you. I don't know if we can read everything we get on the air, but we certainly try. So, hey, hit us up. We love to hear from you. All right, now you can go back to what you were saying.
I was just saying I like the subject. I like the idea of us not being as good as aliens when it comes to splicing genes together. So we're kind of just like, you know what? We know our limitations. Let's just get rid of these creatures. I definitely don't think it was a zoo that let out. I mean, come on, whatever. I mean, don't you know when that happens, they typically sell the animals to people who want to eat them. Like black market stuff,
Who's eating a giant anteater?
People who dig on that. I don't know.
Who digs on that?
I don't know. Or they also sell them to other zoos.
Right.
Well, they usually
that'd be the easy way to go.
They move them to another zoo, so the zoo owner doesn't completely lose everything.
But that
they make
recently
money.
happened. Well, not too long ago, at least within the last 10 years, a guy had a bunch of big cats and some stuff.
He ate them?
No, I think he was getting in trouble, getting fined, and just like opened up his gates and let these cats start running around this neighborhood.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Right?
I know.
I don't think anybody was hurt. Maybe a dog or two, but
Right.
Well, that would be weird. Wouldn't that be interesting? You'd be sitting on your, sitting watching TV, and all of a sudden a lion runs down the
Oh, my
street.
gosh.
That'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, I think I'd be like, okay,
yes,
I don't need any more beer.
That's when you close the window and sit back
yes,
down.
but no.
Wow. Yeah, definitely not the zoo thing, because I think that they would probably sell it to another zoo. Or like in the documentary with Matt Damon, where he let's buy a zoo, or I own a zoo, or whatever.
Let's buy. We bought it. I bought a zoo.
There it is. There it is. I bought
Yeah.
a zoo, or we bought a zoo. Yeah, where he actually goes and has to get these animals. They have guys like that.
I bet you really liked that movie, didn't you?
It was okay. It was all right.
I don't think we haven't seen that one.
We did. And it's
We did?
It's okay. It's a heartwarming.
yeah, no, it'll put you right to sleep.
Yeah,
It's a family. It's a
it probably
family.
did, which
Yeah.
is why
it'll
I
put
don't
you right to
remember.
sleep. Matt Damon.
He was really great on Hot Ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Okay. We're going to move on. All right. Hey, I hope everybody's having a good time. We are going to take a summer break. What does that mean? That means Nash is going on vacation in July. Dave's going on vacation in July. Dave has to go to India for his job in August. So we're just going to, a few episodes, we're going to drop some Patreon content.
Yep.
Our critically acclaimed Ghost and Gastropubs.
Who's the critic?
Me.
Oh, okay, right on. Okay,
We also do a show called Creepy Cryptids. So we're going to let you try some of that out, and hopefully you enjoy it. And then we'll be back with fresh content here before you know it. But there's nothing I can do. You know, these boys want to take vacation.
I know.
Yeah, summers are always tough.
I don't think it's really that much fun on a vacation to Zoom call to still do the
Right.
podcast. So we're just going to take a quick break.
Yeah.
So everybody can get their vacations out of the way.
Yep.
And but we are working on some really fun stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Some video content that we're really trying to get there for you. Probably another Halloween trivia episode, video
Yeah.
special,
Yeah.
and some other stuff I don't want to talk about, but hints were made in this episode. So, yeah. So look forward to that, guys, and continue to send us your stories. We're still active. We're still going to be on the socials responding to you. It's just, 1 or 2 or 3 live episodes.
Right.
That's
Right.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you have any good ideas for us, I mean, we've covered so much in the U.S. and if it gets outside of the U.S., there's
yeah.
the rest of the
Right.
world is out there for us to explore
yeah.
and do our deep dives and hard hitting, exclusives on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it'll be a good time to get away, do a little research, come up with some new ideas, and get some other content.
And I know Kevin J had emailed me and mentioned something about some samples of some new stuff the hot sauce company he works for is producing.
Oh yeah.
So if they're hot, we might end up using them in the Halloween trivia
Okay.
episode, which is now becoming our annual Halloween
Extravaganza.
Nice. Bigger and better every year.
That's right. That's right.
And more hot sauce and more hot sauce.
That's right.
And one year, you and Dave may just win.
Maybe.
Right now,
I think
Alicia's still the reigning champion.
I think if Alicia becomes the MC and you join us as contestants, I think that we might have the best option to hopefully maybe do better.
All right, wait. So, You think?
Yeah.
Number one, I like being the MC.
Yeah, I know. You're good at it.
I feel like
I know.
it's,
It's a good fit for you.
yeah, I want to be a game show host.
Yeah, but I think you'd suck as a
But in the
contestant.
70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You'd suck as a contestant.
See, I can't believe you think that. Number one, I mean, who has to edit, put all the shows together, upload them, put them on the website? So you don't. You think I wouldn't know the details about each episode?
I'm just saying.
Keep in mind, I'm
Alicia
married to Alicia,
is-
so I get to hear her thoughts on the subjects.
Alicia is a repository for information.
Are you trying to
She's a
push me
warehouse
into competing and not being the host this time?
of memory and detail
Is that what's happening?
that nobody can rival, and I think that we would all be equally matched.
You're just trying to get me to take on you and Dave. I mean, be a contestant.
If you think you could,
and vie
I mean,
for victory.
if you think you have a chance, I mean,
I see what you're doing.
whatever
And
you wanna do.
I'm slightly taking the bait.
I'm just saying. But if you want to hide and just be the MC the whole time and not have to actually show if you remember some of these shows, I mean, just whatever you want to do.
It's not easy putting these questions together. I don't want to put
know.
that burden on my wife.
No,
I don't want that burden.
And I maybe what we should do. We should mix up who's creating the questions also, and then pick them from a hat. So they're not all from one source. The guy, see, up the challenge rating a little bit.
That doesn't make any sense.
It makes total sense.
You pick we all throw questions in a hat, and then we pick one out, and you're like, we start reading. You're like, this is the one I made up. I'm going to answer this right away. That's not going to work.
I think it works great. We'll have Alicia because she would be the MC. You would come up with the questions and just not share them.
I'm okay to battle it out with the most extreme hot sauce per round.
We'll see. So far, last 2 years, you haven't, and you've kind of just hadn't been the MC and just kind of hang out there. And
I'd like being the MC.
I don't know.
It's in my nature to want to read a question out loud. Nash, it's just in my nature.
Mm-hmm. It's in my nature to eat a lot of hoagies, but you don't see me doing that.
Yes, I have. So, okay, well, it looks like the Halloween trivia episode challenge has been laid down.
The gauntlet's been thrown.
Not sure if I'm going to listen to Nash, but
right.
it's up to Lish because the pressure of putting the whole show together is on you now. Yeah, I just get to be the contestant.
Right.
No, you can still put it together. You would just be a contestant. That's all.
Yeah. Well, unless we find another podcaster to be the guest MC, and we all compete.
And we might know somebody. We might know some people who could do that.
That just sounds like so much extra work.
I know.
Anyway, we got some fun stuff coming your way. Enjoy your summer. We are still here. We're just going to be dropping some fun content on you that we did over on Patreon. Give you a taste of that. We hope you enjoy it. We love and thank you so much for supporting the show. And we cannot wait to be back with fresh stuff. And maybe, Dave, I don't know if this whole going to Bacon Fest is going to affect him being on the show. I don't know.
It has the potential
I don't know.
to. Well, I would think that it would potentially whenever I've eaten a pound or two of bacon, I know that it doesn't do the best thing towards your body, for your body. So it has the potential to do so.
I mean, that could also be a question, a very snarky question in the trivia. Who went to Bacon Fest and did not invite the rest of the podcast?
That's right. And we all chime, except for Dave. And we just glare at him.
Sorry, Dave. Oh, wait, you'll never listen to this.
Yeah.
I don't think he's listened to any episode. All right.
Bacon.
Like we say around here, it's not bacon.
It's not worth checking out.
If it's not weird,
It's not worth checking out.
Still not bacon.
it's not bacon at all. Thanks, Dave.